Well. What's up, everybody? This is your man DJ Square Knot, and I've been wanting to do this for a while. Um, and I've invited a bunch of people to join in if they want. I'm coming to you. Obviously, you see it via Zoom, and I just want to talk about cigars for a little bit. Um, First off, I will definitely say that I am not. Uh, Advertising for any one brand, and I am also not pushing for you to start smoking cigars or any of the sort. Get involved in doing any type, anything as far as smoking or anything. This is purely your choice. I have made the choice to enjoy a good stick every once in a while. And we do refer to cigars as sticks, stogies. So you'll hear that terminology. So what I would like to do is just basically just invite people to come in and just talk or say something in the chat, and really talk about cigars. What's the deal with them? Some of the what type of flavors. I've done a lot of reviews where I've had everything from the little small the ring gauge sizes, the smaller ring gauge sizes up to the larger ring gauge sizes. And what I mean by ring gauge sizes, um, are the circumference of the cigar. And in some cases, some cigars are square and they call those box rolled. Um, my favorite ring gauge is a 60, for a couple reasons. Number one, those cigars to me seem to be quite flavorful, and then also they tend to last a little bit longer than some of the smaller green gauges. It also depends on how you smoke it too, though. So one of the first things that we want to um, what you want to know about cigars is this: cigars is not designed for you to inhale. They are not designed for you to inhale. You puff them. And when you puff a cigar, you are totally doing it for the flavor of the cigar. Now, you have everything from the sweet cigar to the very peppery cigar, the earthy cigar. Um, Different flavors that are presented in the cigar by the way it was created. Hand rolled cigars, premium cigars, they may have different complex levels to them. You may have some that they may have a sweet wrapper, and what I mean by the wrapper, that's the outside, and then you may have more earthy tone or even a peppery tone or a combination of. You may have a woody kind of cedar taste, but it all just depends. But cigar makers that have been out there for a while, they do their best to perfect the blends. And speaking of blends, one that has really cornered the market is Drew Estate, and they really cornered the market. Everything from the sweeter cigars, or should I say, flavored cigars, to the more of the full body types that they may have a sweet cap to them. And what I'm talking about, the cap, I'm talking about the very top of the cigar. That's where you put in your mouth. Um, but the rest of the cigar is not flavored. So in terms of like any type of sweetness, there are other aromatics that may be included in the cigar, but the sweet um, flavors that we know, for example, from the acid line, although there are a couple in the acid line that do follow what I just spoke about, that do not have that characteristic. So one of the first things that I want to talk about with cigars is why. You may have, first off, cigars. This is all my beliefs, and I hope I get some other people to join in so that they can also talk about it as well. But it is totally my opinion that cigars is definitely a culture. It is a culture that um, um, is enjoyable. It's enjoyable and it brings about fellowship. It brings about great conversations, provokes thought when you are in the midst of having a cigar with someone and the different things. And it's a way to take yourself out of your everyday, whatever it is that you go through, and be able to just take a moment to yourself and be selfish about for yourself, to yourself, for just that period of time. And it makes a world of difference when you have one, two, three, maybe five, as many as sometimes you may have 20 of you having a good stick and having a good drink to sip on, and you're just having a good topic to talk about. Topics of the world, topics of yourself, topics of relationships, topics of everything. All those things can come about while you're puffing on a good stick. Now, um, as I get some people in here, I definitely want to make sure that I go over a couple things with you. And one of those things that we're going to talk about is preparation of a cigar. Sometimes I've been asked once before, because I've done several reviews on cigars, and people go, well, what do I pick first? I've never had a cigar, but I want to try a cigar. And I will always say, start out with something that has, you can start out with something that's sweet, a little sweeter, and then move up from that. Like, for example, today I am having a Drew Estate Factory Smoke Sweet. This is a 5 by 54 ring gauge cigar. So it's not too large, but it's just right. And I've actually been puffing on this cigar now for about 45 minutes. And it's all about how you do it, as far as puffing the cigars or whatever. Some people may smoke them faster than that, but I just take my time because I really want to enjoy. Now, also, there are other ring gauges, like this is my favorite ring gauge right here. This is the 60, and this is also a factory smoke. But I do have others that I indulge in, like, for example, the CAO Flathead. They have a 660 and they also have a 770. And you can guess by the last two numbers that I mentioned in it, the 660 is a 60 gauge. And then we have the 770, which is actually a 7-inch by 70 ring gauge. And they actually have one bigger than that. And speaking of very large cigars, there's one, and it's a 880 and 8-inch by 80 gauge, and that's called a lunatic. I had one of those, and it literally took me about 2.5 hours to get through that entire cigar because I really wanted to see just how long it would take. But it was quite enjoyable. Not something that I would have every day, but from my understanding, there are several people, including females, who enjoy the lunatic, the 880 lunatic. Um, and it's not necessarily an 880. I'm just giving you 880 as 8 inches and 80 gauge. So, but there are plenty. Now, I wish I would have brought up my cutters here to show you, but there are a number of ways to prep your cigar. One of the normal ways that you see a lot of people, if you see in my cigar right now, I have a little hole in it, and that little hole is a punch. And you can punch your cigar with a tool that looks like this. And you see it, you see this rising up. You see the tool rising up. This is a punch. And that punch, you take it and you squeeze it, you push it into the cigar at the top just to release an opening in the cap. And then you take it out, and that produces what you see in my current cigar that I am smoking right now. And that's what you get. This enables you to be able to get a draw from the cigar, because you cannot draw on the cigar through the without having some sort of punch or cut or drill into the cigar. The second way is to just cut it flat. A lot of people will just get a regular cut and they will cut it flat, so you have the full open. It looks pretty much the same on both ends if you don't have a tapered cigar on the end. But you have the full open end, all the tobacco is exposed, and you just smoke it that way. Or you can do a V cut. Now, a V cut cigar, of course, there's numerous ones. I see my man, my brother from another mother. I see DJ Rod Flash in the house. Appreciate you showing up. Appreciate you coming through. Let me go ahead on and post the Zoom for you. But yes, the cigar is designed to be prepped in multiple ways, and that's totally a preference thing. It's not something that you have to do it, and no one way over the other is a wrong way. So just understand that however you prep your cigar, as long as you're not ripping it and tearing it to pieces, that you are able to pretty much smoke your cigar the way you want it. And by doing that, you're able to get the most flavors. Now, with me, what I like to do is I like to either use a V cut or a punch. And the reason behind that is because when you are drawing on the cigar, you're going to have, you want to concentrate those flavors at the cap. And as those flavors are traveling into your mouth, you get a chance to really experience the composition of the cigar. And by doing that, you are able to see what you like, and in a lot of cases feel the flavors of the cigar as well. So when you're drawing the cigar, let's take a flavored cigar, a very aromatic cigar, that you're having, and you draw it. So when you draw that cigar, right, and you have the flavors, they concentrate in your mouth, you get a chance to taste everything that's about the cigar. Like I say, you may taste flowers, you may taste chocolate, you may taste some sort of botanicals, you may taste, of course you're going to taste a certain taste from the tobacco. Tobacco leaves, I like hand rolled cigars instead of machine rolled cigars. And that is because, like I say, when they are hand rolled, they definitely have multiple leaves from the tobacco stalk. Now, when you're looking at a tobacco stalk, it goes from the bottom all the way to the top. Now, you got the top leaves that is going to get the most sunlight. So the ones that are going to get the most sunlight, of course, are going to be able to produce and process that leaf and make the most flavors come out of that cigar when it is properly dried out and then used to roll the cigars. And then you go right on down into the next level of the stalk, which is the middle, and then the bottom. So you have different areas of the tobacco stalk that are used for different types of cigars. You have different rolls to the cigar. I know I won't go over them all today, but hopefully we'll get some more people to join in on the next one where we can go over terms like torpedo. We can go over terms like Maduro. We can go over terms like Robusto. We can go over terms like Bellicoso. All these different ones that will definitely help you understand everything there is about cigars out there. When you are getting back to the question about the person that wants to learn about cigars. Now the myth is that a lot of people say cigars are worse than cigarettes. I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to sit here and tell you that one is worse than the other. All I know is that from the research that I have done, it is said that cigars, there's a less like chance of it causing lung cancer. But, it does, talk about oral cancers and different things of that nature. So you take that on your own discretion. Now, and that is for someone who is literally smoking 5, 6, 7 cigars a day. When I looked at everything, it says cigars 1 to 2 a day. There is no real studies or no real information that is truly going to be detrimental to you. Now, I'm not saying that just because I say that and that research is out there, which you can Google for yourself, that is okay. Because again, I'm not condoning you to go out here and smoke. I'm just sharing about me. And the reason I started is simply because it was just something to do. I started fellowshipping with brothers. I am a Prince Hall Shriner. And a lot of times we get together and we sit out and we may have a cigar or two and chat and just have a good time because that's what we do. And from that, I would smoke, every once in a while, just like I do now. I know at one point it seemed like I was always posting cigars, but what it would be is I would delay in my posts from, where I had smoked several cigars and then just try to give you the rundowns, unless I was doing a review on a cigar. From doing the reviews on the cigars, I tried to help people and tried to help them understand more about the cigars. And the feedback I got was positive, that a lot of people didn't even know different things about cigars. For example, the biggest one was, how do you smoke a cigar? Do I have to inhale it? And the answer is absolutely not. Do not inhale a cigar unless you want to cough up a lung. So do not do that. When you are drawing on a cigar, basically the tongue of your tongue goes to the top of your mouth, locking and blocking your throat pretty much from the airway to allow smoke to go down into your lungs. So you are, like I say, you're puffing that cigar for the flavors. That's what you want to do and enjoy it. Now, if you decide you want to get full, sometimes you want to really, really taste the flavor of a cigar, you can do something called a retrohale. I mean, what a retrohale is that basically you're puffing, you're taking in you're puffing on the cigar and you're taking in the smoke and you're going to blow it out your nose. By doing that, we also understand that, of course, in the human anatomy, in order for us to taste, we also utilize our sense of smell. So with the combination of both your tongue and your nose, you're able to get really, really concentrate the true flavors of the cigar onto your palate. And by doing that, you learn more about the particular stick that you are enjoying. So just some really cool things to think about. And I don't want to keep people long, but I'm hoping that I am able to go back and really talk about and share in what people are smoking, what people are doing, what people are trying out there, because I would really like to know, because I think it's a really cool thing for us to be able to get together as a culture and talk about it, just kind of like what we do as a DJ. I am a DJ, and have been for decades, and through that, um, just be able to, fellowship, talk about things, talk about what's out there, talk about what's good, what's not. As you see in my background here, I have a photo of this says full body cast, but this cigar that you see is called a bone shaker, and it is truly a full body cast. The first time I had one of these cigars, it was recommended to me, and I was just looking to try something full body because I had not ever tried one before. And when I did, I was like, woo wee, full body cast. And it's just that, because as I got to um, about halfway the cigar, which I'll explain that to you here in a second. And I started feeling this thing all over my body. I mean, literally, it just it just kind of got me there for a quick second. I was like, wow, just blown away by how it made me feel. And it was a good feeling, but it was just the fact that it was actually doing that just really tripped me out. Now, in a cigar, I'm going to unwrap this 60 gauge for you so that you guys can see, because you can't really see too much through the plastic, the wrapper, like that. But this is a 60 gauge, 6 by 60 gauge cigar. And as you see, and when I was saying cut the cigar, just do a flat cut, you see how this end of the cigar is, it would actually look the same on this end. So you're literally cutting off the cap and smoking it that way. And then also a V cut, you'd actually, the reason they call it a V cut, because at the cap, it would have a V from the type of cutter that you would use. But cigars are broken down into thirds. So when you're smoking a cigar, it's broken down into thirds: 1/3, 2/3, and then we call it the last third. And a lot of times when you first light up a cigar, you light it with a torch. The best way to light a cigar is to get you a torch. And you want to toast it up. You toast up the cigar, and then puff it, of course, while you're toasting, to definitely get it, but not too long, because butane lighters, that's what this is. It's a butane lighter, a butane torch, and you don't want to puff too much of it, because you don't want to um, insert the flavors from the butane into insert the flavors from the butane into the cigar itself, because then while you're smoking the cigar, you're going to also taste the butane, and you don't want to do that. It's not the purpose of how you light it. So you just toast it up, puff it a couple times, and then from that point it should be able to be good to go. But you got the 3/3, the first third, second third, last third. And in a lot of cases, when it comes to cigars, there's something called a transition. And basically what that means is, some cigars, you will find no transition. From the time that you light it to the time that you stop, it tastes the same all the way through. But then you have some cigars that You may light it, you may start getting through, you get through the first third, and as you're going from the first third to the second third, there will be a transition of either a bolder flavor, a milder flavor, or some type of other different flavor you will recognize. And you will recognize that throughout the second third, and as you go to the last third, you may find that the cigar actually has a different change to it as well. And I call it the hit, because a lot of times in that last third, the transition again is a little bit more powerful in some cigars, and it gives you a little buzz. It gives you that little buzz, that hit, I call it, and it feels good. But you know, you definitely have to realize, hey, when you've gotten your limits, and go from there. Um, this particular cigar is a Maduro. And this is the 660 Maduro. And what we will do is we will talk about those different types of cigars on our next section, our next segment. But I want to start talking about this. I've been thinking about this for a while. And I said I would just go ahead on and do it, and see if we can get some people to start to join me in these conversations. So I would definitely look forward to talking with you guys more about them. And you know, like I say, I'm not forcing anybody or telling anybody to go out here and get a cigar and start smoking. I just am sharing my experience and what it is and what I have enjoyed. And it's just relaxing, especially when you have a nice drink to go along with it. And I've had cigars that go very well with sweet tea, coffee, um, scotch, cognacs, brandies, all different types. You know, it's just totally preferential, and it goes according to your taste. But there are definitely some pairings there that actually work very well together. Cigars and scotch are definitely a great pairing. Cigars and cognac are definitely a great pairing. So, and you know, whiskeys, period, great pairing. So, and like I say, in the morning times, you have those smokers who have their morning cigar, and it actually works very well with coffee. So, just something to think about there. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead on and just end this out right now. But I just wanted to talk a little bit about cigars. I will bring more in the next segment. I don't want to give it all right now, and I don't want to keep people too long as I am presenting information. So if you have any questions or anything like that, don't hesitate to hit me on IG at Real DJ Square Knot. And then as far as on Facebook and everywhere else, it's DJ Square Knot. So definitely look forward to communicating with you, answering any questions that I can. Fellow cigar smokers, hopefully we can get some of you guys to join in. I shared the Zoom link in multiple rooms, but hopefully we'll get a chance to get some of you guys to come through, and we can just chat about some things. I think cigars is a great culture. And I think that we have a good time when we do get together. And I think that if we can all come together and just, you know, have some conversations about what what their favorite go-to is, and, you know, what they smoking, what they're drinking with it, it would be absolutely awesome. I will leave you with this. For starters, I will circle back around to you if you absolutely are looking for something to start with, and you want a combination of something that's not too sweet, but something that you can just, it's an overall great cigar all the way around. I would recommend the Fat Bottom Betty by Deadwood Tobaccos, which is a division of Drew Estate Cigars. You can't go wrong with a Fat Bottom Betty at all. And me personally, I recommend that you go with the Gordito. They do come in three different varieties. You have the Maduro, which is the 5 by 52 or 54. You have the Robusto, which is 6 by 54, and then the Gordito, which is a 6 by 60, and those are my favorites. And they are part of a line of cigars from Deadwood called the Yummy Bitches. You have the, of course, like I said, the Fat Bottom Betty. You have the Leather Rose. You have the Crazy Alice, and Sweet Jane. And all four of those in that line definitely give you great flavors. But the Fat Bottom Betty is by hands down, is the top. So I would definitely try one of those if you are looking to just try something new. You know, it's not like where you're gonna be doing it every day. You may go out, you know, and with some friends, and you guys just want to kick back and, you know, barbecue, or and just have a drink, and, you know, have a cigar. That is definitely, like, almost, I would say, the perfect cigar for you, for sure. I enjoy them, and they're great. To me, I think they are better than some of these very expensive, like super expensive cigars, ranging in the $100-$200 range. And the Fat Bottom Betty, you can get those for $10, $11, $12. And they are definitely great cigars. I recommend either punch or V-cut, and get you a good torch. Don't try lighting it unless you absolutely have to, with a one of those stick lighters that you use for lighting your charcoals. I recommend you get yourself a torch, or if you can't get a torch, use wood matches. You may have to maybe light it with maybe 3 matches, but a torch like this right here definitely would be the kicker. All right, y'all. This is your man, DJ Square Knot. It's been great talking to you guys about cigars. Like I say, I'm hoping to get some others on here to talk about cigars and what they smoke and what they indulge in terms of the different brands, and you know, their favorite go-tos. And then we'll talk some more about when your cigar actually goes out, what you do in this case. Like you see right here, you see the ashes there. And the question I have for you guys is this: do you just light this like this and just try to smoke it, or do you clean it and then smoke it? That's what I'll leave you with. All right, you guys take care. I'm your man, DJ Square Knot, and we are definitely out and looking forward to chatting with you the next time. And don't forget, put some smoke in the air. Peace.